And if it's all right, I'll put a motion on the floor to see where it goes.
Please, that'd be great.
I mean, I agree in part with Brett's comments. I think, you know, an opportunity to have a broader community conversation about what it is that you're facing, what the needs are, how we best fill those needs is critical. There's a lot of emotion around this. I've experienced it. I think we all have. And we need to be able to step back from that and ask what the real risks are. A few commenters tonight talked about doing more of an analysis of need and needs assessment and using evidence. So I'm in agreement with that. And I think we could use a process that would both allow people to see up close the types of things that the police are experiencing potentially and in reality, and also potentially look at alternatives for how to deal with that. I want to say a word about probabilities. I think I hear you talking about examples, and I think there are two issues of probabilities that I just keep coming back to. One is the probability of an actual event like this in our city, and the second is the probability that this tool will be effective in that event. That's a dual probability, that's a cumulative probability. Multiply them together, and I would say that the reality is the probability is very, very low. It's a non-zero probability, but very low. My concern is this: how far do we go to reduce our risks to zero? What costs will we bear as a society or as a city? It seems to me that no elected official wants to be the one to say, no, I'm not going to give you what you need to protect yourselves. Who among us wants to be that person? At the same time, where does it end? How far do we go? Where do we say we're just not going to go there? We can't go there because of what it fundamentally does to us as a community. I'm not asking you to answer that question. I'm struggling with that mightily myself. In the case of this piece of equipment, symbol matters. We are a species that uses symbol, and this symbolizes the most destructive force on the planet, which is the U.S. military. I think we have to acknowledge that. We have to acknowledge that that's powerful symbolism. And when we bring that symbolism into our community, it's not merely a knee-jerk emotive response that says we don't want it here. It's because we see what has been done in the name of that destructive force around the planet to people like us. If we don't acknowledge those realities, if we just make it a technical issue, then we create a brittle and mistrustful society here in Davis. I appreciate the trust that you, Landy, Darren, have built in this community. I do, and I hope you hear that. This will hurt it. This piece of equipment, because of its powerful symbolism, will hurt it. We can't ignore that. I can't ignore that. Notwithstanding what Brett's saying, I would love to take a fully rational approach, but I actually do think symbolism is rational. Symbolism is used to sell us all the products we buy, to build the loyalty towards organizations, to build the loyalty towards our nation. All that is built on symbol, and this is a symbolic thing. This represents something that we're concerned about and that causes fear. As I look at the people here, as I look at my own heart, I think we're war weary. We're tired of war. We're tired of the cost. The detritus of our wars, in a human sense, flows back to every community in this country in the form of PTSD, in the form of traumatic brain injury. And now we see the detritus flow back in the form of equipment that's been used to destroy lives. It's hard for us to live with those realities. I think we have to acknowledge that. I'd like to put forward a three-part motion. And